Are these any good? That is the question that we are here to answer today. The RayBan Meta Smart Glasses. An overwhelming number of you have reached out asking about these. Even my friends and family have messaged me, so I bought a pair. I bought a pair of RayBan Metas to find out, are they any good? But in doing so, I made a massive mistake when I purchased these, and I'm hoping today to save you from that same mistake that I made if you decide to buy the RayBan Meta Smart Glasses. This pair right here, I am returning for sure. I'll explain that later, but a pair of glasses with a tiny little POV camera that can do photo and video and Bluetooth headsets built into it. So a pair of sunglasses, a Bluetooth headset, and a POV camera all in one. Those are three things that I use quite often. Maybe I could just use these and I don't have to bring those three things with me all the time. I'm sure a lot of you are asking that same question. We're gonna walk through what these are, if they're any good, and then we'll end with the big mistake that I made, hopefully save you from that mistake. And today I'm hoping that I might be able to even fix that mistake. At the end of the video, I'm hoping to fix my own dumb mistake. It's like a mistake I should have seen coming. Like, I don't know why I didn't realize it, but I also think a lot of other people aren't gonna realize it. First, let's get into these glasses and what they are, but it is getting cold and the sun's going down, so let's go inside. Oh, that'll kind of come in play later. Now, first thing that I care about as a photographer is the camera. How are the camera on these things? That's probably one of the main things that people are looking at these for and saying like, oh, they have a camera on them. I could use them as like a POV camera. Just snap photos and videos throughout my day. And I would say as a camera system, they are pretty good. On the left side of the frame right there is an ultra wide 12 megapixel camera that shoots vertically. Now these are made by Facebook or Meta, who owns Facebook and Instagram. So the vertical format is kind of their preferred way of displaying photos and videos. So the photos and the videos coming out of here, which are just HD, 1440 by 1920, so 1920 tall, 1440 wide, shooting at 30 frames a second, vertical still. So vertical photos, vertical video, and it's pretty good. Like, they're not gonna compete with something like the iPhone 15 Pro if you've got one of these, maybe even the iPhone 14 Pro, it probably can't compete with that. I would say it's more on par with like an iPhone 12. Really good, you take a photo and you go, oh, that was a great photo. Or you shoot a little video clip and you go, very good clip. Nothing to write home about, but also nothing to complain about. And you've got 32 gigabytes of built-in memory here, which is 500 photos, if that's all you shot was photos, and about 50, 60-second clips. That's kind of how the video works on here. If I press it just once, there's a photo right there. See, I have a little illumination light to let people know I took a photo of them. And then if I press and hold, I start a video clip. I'm now recording a video clip, and this will record up to 60 seconds before it stops. Now I can just stop at any point during that 60 seconds by pressing it one more time, and I've ended that video clip. But if I just press it and hold, it'll start a video clip and it'll shoot up to 60-second clips at a time, which is weird because you can live stream from these glasses to Facebook or Instagram. And if you're doing that, I think you can do it up to 30 minutes. So odd that in like video mode on these things, I can only do 60-second clips, but if I'm live streaming, I can do much longer. Now, a big note on the photos and the videos is it is very difficult to frame your shot with these. Like with the Insta360 Go, when I have this thing mounted up on my hat, it's mounted like right in the middle, and I usually tilt it down a little bit. So I kind of know like I've gotten to learn where that framing is, so I can kind of move my head and I know what my frame is. Now with these, one, the camera is not in the middle, it's offset to the left side. So if I'm just looking at something and I just go snap and I take a photo, usually the framing is too far left and too high. If I had a camera, I would kind of squat a little bit. I would aim a little low to get the entire person in frame. So with these, you kind of got to look at the person's belly before you take the photo. And then you usually have like a good top to bottom, just framing in general. Like there's no sort of like eyepiece to be able to see what your shot is. Same with video. I found that a lot of my videos are framed a little far left and a little high. That's the cameras on these things. Now the speakers is really what I think people don't realize why they were buying these things. Like, people think that they're buying them because like, oh, they have a camera on them. I will shoot things for Instagram and for Facebook. But really and truly, I use these more for Bluetooth headphones over the past couple of weeks than for the camera system. Let's take a quick break right there so I can thank the sponsor of today's video, Aura Frames. Aura is the Wi-Fi connected digital photo frame for your photos and videos. We take thousands of photos these days, whether it be on our phones or on our action cameras or now on our sunglasses. All of these photos, they just end up in your phone or on your computer, and they never end up in your life. But we have 2 Aura frames in our house. One's like right as you walk in the door, and then one's right like below our TV on the mantle there. And through the Aura app, I've loaded up a ton of photos on each of those frames. You have unlimited storage space to load photos onto these frames, and they just cycle all day long. Like, every time I look at the frame, it's a different photo that was on my phone and I probably would never have seen again, and I actually get to see it in my life. Morgan and I love Aura frames, but one of the things that we love them for the most is giving them as gifts. I gave one to my parents and I gave one to my grandpa last year. So my parents live in Arizona, my grandpa lives in Cincinnati, but from the Aura app, because I'm connected to both of their frames, I can take photos of my kids, load them into the app, and then shoot them digitally to their frame. So my parents just sit in their living room, look up, and boom, there's new photos popping up on their Aura frame. And the other thing too is that like, you don't have to pick the very best of the best photos, like just fun moments, like cool moments where you're like, I wouldn't frame that and put that on the wall, but I would like to see it again. And if you too want to pick up an Aura frame for your friends or family, or honestly one for yourself, like once you buy them for other people, you're gonna be jealous and you're gonna want one in your house. Go to the first thing in the description, shoot over to auraframes.com and use code DAVIDMANNING at checkout to save $40 off of the Carver frame. Okay, let's get back to the RayBan Meta review. Because not only are there 2 like really tiny little speakers that are perfectly aimed at your ear holes, there's also 5 microphones on these. So you can not only listen to music, do podcasts, you can also do phone calls. And I will say that was the most impressive part of these glasses, is phone calls with the RayBan Metas. When I first put them on, like I got them out of the box, I put them on, I immediately called Morgan and I was like, hey, what are you up to? And I wanted to see, like, could she tell something was weird? And she couldn't at all. And then I asked her, how do I sound? And she said, you sound like you're holding the phone up to your ear. So I asked her, like, do these sound better or worse than when I'm wearing my AirPods? And she said that they sound better. Now there's a caveat here. I was in a pretty noiseless situation. These do great when there's not a ton of background noise going on, and they still do really well when there is a lot. Like when you're in a noisy environment, the microphones for the other person on the other end of the phone call, it will still sound really good. It gets a bit robotic with the noise canceling. Like it sounds good, just sounds a little, you know, like that sound of when a microphone system is canceling noise, it gets a little like, you get a bit of that on there. But the 5 microphones also allow for when you're shooting video to give you spatial audio, so that later if you're listening to the video that you recorded on a system that has spatial audio, you can actually hear things as they move around you, because again, it's being picked up by 5 different microphones. That is pretty neat. Now back to the speakers. The speakers are really good at 70% volume. I would say at 50% volume, even if someone's kind of near you, they won't hear that you're listening to music. So if you're like in line at Starbucks and you just kind of stand there and people are respecting, you know, social space and they're maybe 3 feet away from you, then they will not know that you are listening to music or a podcast or anything like that. About 50% volume and it's totally just yours. And I would say that the audio sounds best at about 70%. That's kind of where, like, if somebody was near you, it might sound like something. I can hear something going on, but I can't tell what it is at all. And then if you were to crank these to 100%, someone like 2 feet away from you, it would sound like you had headphones in, like AirPods in, and you had them cranked, and there was just that kind of bleed coming through where you're like, wow, that guy's got his music really loud. The other problem though is that at 100%, you realize that these are small speakers. Like there's just there's no oomph to the audio at 100%. Like at 70%, you're like, oh, that sounds really good. The audio sounds nice, but at 100%, it just gets that like small speaker sound. And the other problem with that is that if you're in a super noisy environment, like there's no isolation going on here. Like these are not AirPods that are stuck into your ear holes. They're just kind of shooting at your ears, competing with all the noise around you. So if you're like driving down the street and you have your windows down, there's no chance that you're gonna be able to understand something like maybe a podcast or even a song that you really want to hear the words. no chance that these are powerful enough to compete with that much noise around you. Same in like a super noisy environment. You're downtown, you're on a train, like there's just a lot of people, there's a lot of noise going on around you. You really got to crank them up to kind of hear anything like a podcast where you actually want to understand what the people are saying. But again, I will say, like, in actual use case of these glasses, the Bluetooth speakers, like that's been the thing that I've used most. Like I'm just cruising through a Costco out on a trip. I've been on phone calls. I've been listening to podcasts or music, just kind of cruising around. Now, the one weird thing with that though, is that you do look like you're crazy. Like if you see somebody talking to themselves, but then you look over and they've got one of these things in their ears, you go, that person's on a phone call. But if you see someone walking down the street and they just have sunglasses on and they don't have anything in their ears and you don't know that these are smart glasses, you go, that person's talking to themselves. They do have a touch panel right here on the side. This whole side piece is a touch panel. So I can do a couple of things with this. If I swipe forward, I can turn the volume up. If I swipe backwards on it, I can turn the volume down. I can tap it to start and stop music, and I can double tap it to play music from Spotify. Now, how the Spotify integration works is kind of odd. It just gives you like a Spotify recommendation, and you can't actually ask the AI assistant that's built in to play something from Spotify. Now you can just pull off Spotify in your phone, pull up a playlist, hit play, and it will play them through the Metas, but I can't ask Meta to play music. Now, you can ask the AI, which is called Meta, you can ask it all sorts of other questions. Like I can say, hey Meta, what year was Albert Einstein born? You get like this little Albert Einstein was born on March 14th, 1879. Hey Meta, what is 642 times 12? 7,704. So you can ask Meta all the sort of normal like voice assistant questions, and then you can also say things like, hey Meta, take a photo. And it'll take a photo. Hey Meta, take a video. And now I'm recording a video. Hey, I've never stopped it like this. Hey Meta, stop video. Hey Meta, oh, there it goes. Let's chat about this case real quick. The battery life in the glasses is about 4 hours. And then with these bad boys, we get up to 36 hours total. So 8 recharges on these just by using this little charge case. You've got a little USB-C port on the bottom, a indicator light right here on the front. It's like the little button bit. And then on the glasses, like in the bridge are the 2 contact points. And then in the case is the recharge bit. So I just put them in the case, close it up, and now my glasses are recharging. So all around the RayBan Metas, they're pretty good at all 3 things. Like as sunglasses, they're good, they're Ray-Bans. Ray-Bans are decent sunglasses. As a POV camera, pretty decent. As Bluetooth headphones, pretty good. Are they better than any of these 3 things at those 3 things? Not really. It's a bit of like a jack of all trades, master of none situation. And for some reason that still really works. Like I really like wearing them. I really like using them while I'm out and about. But again, I made one massive mistake when buying this pair of glasses that I'm going to try to rectify today. And here is the big mistake that I hope to save you from. They're great as headphones. They're great as a little POV camera to have with you at all times, and they're pretty decent as sunglasses. But the problem is that how do you actually use sunglasses? Well, you use them when it's bright outside, when it's sunny, and you end up taking sunglasses off a lot during the day. Like for instance, when I go into a store, I want to take my glasses off. All right, I went inside Costco with these on because I was talking to Morgan. So I was using these as my phone call, my Bluetooth device to talk to my wife. And then I walked inside Costco and I was walking around and then I just realized like it's way too dark to use these indoors. If you are a person that wears sunglasses indoors a lot, I don't know how you do it. It's very difficult and I couldn't see anything. I need transition lenses is what I'm getting to. I don't think these work well indoors. It's too dark. That's where these come in. I ordered a second pair of these glasses because I think these are gonna solve my problem. They sell transition, oh wow, those are really clear. They're even more clear than I thought they were gonna be, but those are super clear glasses. These are the RayBan Meta glasses, but with transition lenses in them. Ha ha! Oh wow, hey, I've also never been a person that wears like prescription lenses. And I didn't even know what I looked like with prescription glasses on. But again, they're not prescription. These are just transition lenses that if I go outside, they will turn as dark as these glasses, but then when I come back inside, they go clear. And this is kind of like the weird thing with these glasses is I think this is the only way that purchasing these glasses makes sense, because again, you're going to take your sunglasses off during the day, and if you're in the middle of a phone call or middle of a podcast, you can't do that if your glasses and your Bluetooth headphones are paired together. On UV light, look how clear they are, totally clear. Watch this, hang on. Look at, oh, there's sunglasses. They're totally sunglasses. These are actually darker than the gradient that is on this pair. Like this pair is the gradient version, and this pair becomes just dark sunglasses, and that actually is even better. Oh, this was a great decision. Oh, I'm so happy with this. Now I'm actually pretty stoked on them that I can use them indoors and outdoors. I don't know how long it takes them to become clear again. Like I can tell they're already lightening up because they're not in the sun, but I have no idea how long it takes for them to go from dark to light. They go from light to dark in like 5 seconds, especially with one of these things. That was like instant. That is the way that I would say if anyone is looking at the oh, the other thing is look, see, I switched to the gloss black because I went first for the matte black, and you see fingerprints all over these things, like fingerprints and like, you know, like grease from your face. It gets all in there, and that just looks terrible. Oh, and don't get polarized lenses. So the transitions are non-polarized, which means that as a creator who uses screens all the time, I can use a camera, I can hold a camera, whether these are clear or dark, and I can see the screen without having any polarization issues. So polarization is for glare, it's not for protection. Like these are 100% UV protection, and these are 100% UV protection. Now these are polarized, and these are not, which means that I'll see more glare when wearing these than wearing those, but there's no like protection difference. That's kind of a misnomer or a myth amongst the whole polarization movement. As a creator, you definitely do not want polarized sunglasses, and these are not, and look, they're lightening up a lot. It's been like a minute, and they're actually quite light already. I can already like see inside. I could walk around Costco right now, and I know they're even gonna get lighter. If you're going to get the RayBan Metas, I think this is the only way to do it. This makes it so that you spent $300 and some, and you can only use your Bluetooth headphone, POV camera, cool guy, smart glasses out in the sun. And this makes it so that you can wear them all day long, and outdoors they become sunglasses, and indoors they just become like, make it look like Clark Kent. It looks like Superman with these glasses. What do you guys think of the RayBan Meta glasses? Is this like the first time that you've thought about smart glasses? Because this is the first time that most people that are hitting me up are like, hey, I'm finally thinking of doing it. I'm finally thinking of pulling the trigger and going for this whole smart glass thing. I think this is going to be the pair of glasses that I think gets a lot of people to transition into the smart glass world. Okay, I'm gonna go set up my new glasses, and I'm gonna box these back up and get these returned to RayBan. These are dope. Comments, questions about these glasses, throw them down below. I'll get them answered for you, and I will see you soon. I've never worn glasses before. Like like actual prescription glasses, and that looks pretty good. One day when my eyes go bad, I think I'm doing RayBan Wayfarers with prescription lenses in here. Ooh, I wonder if I could get prescription transitions for the RayBan Metas. That would be dope. Again, I don't need them yet, but I did just turn 40, November 15th, 40th birthday. So I'm getting old. Gonna need these soon. Get those prescription lenses ordered.